Alrighty, welcome everyone. Joined here with Manger Bud Black. Nick Rowe, go ahead and lead us off.
Yeah, hey buddy. Two things. First with Austin Gomber going to the paternity list. Do you have a plan for tomorrow?
Chi Chi Gonzalez.
Is he going to be okay?
Who?
Oh, Chi Chi. He's back and he's ready.
Hey, that's why he's starting tomorrow.
Awesome. What is his available length? Is he all the way back?
77 pitches.
That's awesome.
Just kidding. He's able to throw. He threw 50-something pitches down in Arizona. This is August. Chi Chi's been out there a number of times. Based on performance and how he's throwing. If he's throwing the ball well and is getting his outs, he can throw upwards to 75 to 90 pitches, we think.
And then separately, you talked about Connor Joe over the weekend a little bit, but having not really seen him come up through the minors in person, I don't exactly know how he profiles as a hitter. He does have attributes as a leadoff. He's getting on base quite a bit. He's not striking out. His average is a little bit low, but what do you?
He's hitting 295.
I thought it was low. Is it up to 295? That's
I don't know. Somebody look. Does anybody have the capabilities on this Zoom call to find out what he's hitting, or maybe one of these fellas back here can let me know what he's hitting? On base percentages.
I could, but I want to.
Well, maybe somebody can jump in here within the next 30 to 60 seconds.
And I can look it up too. But does he profile as a leadoff? And is that?
I think in this day and age, again, going back decades to the traditional roles of 1 through 9 in a lineup. I think those lines have been cleared away to a certain extent. I think what you're looking for, and a lot of your guys who play, your everyday players, you like an on-base component to the guys that hit at the top of the order. And I think Connor, in his minor league career, now he doesn't have a lot of major league at-bats, but his minor league career shows that he's been able to get on base via the batting average and via the walk. Our scouting reports, what we've seen live, we've talked about this. He has a good strike zone discipline. His chase rate is great. He does a lot of good things in the box, as an offensive player. Now, between the Pirates, Giants, the Dodgers, and the Rockies, there's been some performance in the minor leagues, and right now it's translating in the major leagues. So he's doing a good job. He's having good at bats. The power's starting to show up a little bit. There's been a little bit of home run in the minors. It's not big power, but there's some home run. There's a walk. There's on base. And there's a batting average. So he's taken advantage of an opportunity to play, and he's doing well. That's why you've seen him in the lineup pretty consistently here the last week or so.
He is, by the way, hitting 291. Which is a good average. Yeah. Although
on base is what, 340, 345?
355.
355. Okay.
And to your point, his strikeout rate is down there with like Charlie and Rymel. It's like really low. Yeah. It seems like he's doing a lot of things that maybe.
What is his strikeout? What's his strikeout rate?
Is it like in the 13? It's like 13% or something.
Yeah, I think major league average is 23. Yeah. And I think the average walk rate in the big leagues is like 9. Right about 9%. So I think he's exceeding both those ratios.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm getting at is it seems like he does fill some stuff that the team, that he does some things that the team kind of overall lacks at times.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, that's function of our roster, and also trying to get to those things with the players that we have. The conversations, the coaching, the teaching, players trying to improve and get better. I mean, guys know it. I mean, these numbers, the players are aware of it, and they know that they have to get better. Those guys were on the wrong side of some of these percentages.
And then, so with him, and you talked here now, especially lately, about trying to find out what you have in the lineup and who's who. So with Connor, are you trying to figure out if he fits it in different spots, or do you just sort of know that that's
again, it's so early in his major league career, right? Even though he 27, 28, he just has a couple hundred major league at bats, and we've been through that before, right? When we've talked about the 1,000 at bat mark, the 1,500 at bat mark, Connor's got a couple hundred, so it's still relatively early. But what our eyes tell us through this very small sample, that he's doing a nice job. Now it's up to him to continue, and there's going to be adjustments made by the pitchers, the opposing pitchers. It'll continue to be a game of adjustments for him. And on the defensive side, he's working his butt off at first base, field, to try to become a very credible major league defender.
Gotcha. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
We'll go to Tracy next. Go ahead, Tracy.
Buddy, along those lines with Connor, would it be safe to say that he did struggle a little bit early, but he's also a guy that hadn't played for a while? And since he's come back up, I've noticed he's hitting 359 the last 2 months. I mean, it seems like he's getting settled in.
I'd have to look, Trace. I want to say like the first 20 at bats, he was on fire, right? There's a lot of walks and there's a lot of hits. And then it sort of slowed down, and then we had to make a move, and then we sent him to the minors. And then I think he responded in Albuquerque with some, good performance. And since his return, he's been solid. So again, I'd have to look at early Connor right when he got here, but I want to say the first 30 at bats were great, and then it sort of slipped a little bit, and now coming back, he's doing great. So, and that happens, right? I mean, there's going to be there'll be some peaks and valleys along the way, but right now he's swinging great. He's playing very well.
And I just wondered if, having missed the time he missed,
For sure.
As the season goes on, he gets more comfortable in what he's doing.
Yeah, I think so. I think that should be a natural occurrence. He missed all of last year, with his medical situation. So, he's healthy, he's confident, he's mentally in a great spot, very positive on a positive outlook. He's got energy, personality. I mean, there's a lot to like. So let's hope it keeps going. I mean, there's not, he wants more than to prove that he's a major league player and he should be on a major league roster.
The other thing, yesterday in the pregame, you were talking about in trying to evaluate players, you can't just look at numbers, that you have to look at situations. And I was thinking, so when I'm watching in the 9th inning last night, the Bard situation, where he 2 cheap hits, 2 good outs, and then a home run. And so it's like he gave up 3, he blew a save, and he gave up. And is that what you're talking about? You've got to be able to break away and not just look at the final.
You got to be able to look at that a little closer and realize that, it wasn't like he gave up a leadoff bullet to Cronenworth, and then Nola hit a sharp single, then a strikeout, then a fly ball to right, and then a homer. I mean, he made a lot of good pitches that inning, and just baseball got him. I mean, that happens, and we've talked about that. But over time, if you keep making those pitches, you're going to have results, and that's part of why he has 20 saves. And his walk rate's a little high, his strikeout rate's great, the hits per innings pitched okay. He's pitching pretty well. And again, in this park, I've said that probably more this year than I've ever had before, both offensively and on the mound. But you really gotta dissect an inning or an outing or an at bat. You know, like even yesterday, like Charlie led off the ninth with an absolute bullet right to Grisham. And then Crony, you know, hit the home run. You know, Carlos had a really good inning. You know, Carlos Estevez pitched really well in the eighth. You know, Senza threw the ball well. I mean, their bullpen, you know, leading up to Hudson threw the ball well. So you really got to look at, you know, the quality of an at-bat, the quality of the pitches that the pitchers are making to, you know, to really determine, you know, how a guy performed. Just like an interception in football, right? I mean, you make a good throw, the receiver, you know, slips through his hands and it's picked off, right? I mean, in the stat sheet, it's an interception, but in reality, that ball's probably caught most of the time, but yet it's going to go down as an interception.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Alrighty, quite a few more hands to get through here. We'll go to Patrick Saunders next.
I was looking ahead at your schedule for the end of the year, and you have a number of series against contending teams, not just the NL West.
Isn't that great?
It is great. And that was my question to you, because I know you want to get these guys high level, high leverage experience. I would imagine that's kind of exciting to you. And plus the chance to be a spoiler must be kind of a cool thing.
I don't, you know, I don't know. First of all, I don't want to be a spoiler. I don't want to be in that position, but we are. Let's get that clear. But, you know, our record is what it is. So I like playing against good teams. I like that for our guys. I think it makes the day, you know, come to the point that, you know, the league is watching. And you know, I've told that to the guys. I've told them that in, you know, some of our meetings. I've told them that individually. Like, you know, when we go back east, you know, those games are going to be watched in September. They're going to be big. You know, the Phillies, the Braves, right? I'm sure you're talking about those. We got the Giants, 2 more series here. We got the Dodgers in LA. I mean, these are, you know, these are series, and this time of the year in September, there's nothing better than baseball in September. And, you know, we're on the wrong side of you know, our season in a lot of ways, but again, Hampson, Daza, Mack, Bowden, Gilbreth, Gomber, Nunez, you know, catching a game in Philadelphia, you know, when, you know, Aaron Nola's pitching and there's 50,000 people at, you know, at that ballpark. That's great. So Rogers, Trejo, I mean, you name them. I mean, it's good for these guys. Looking forward to it. And I think so are the players.
All right, next we'll go to Danielle. Go ahead, Danielle.
Hi, buddy. With Taylor Motter, what's it like watching a guy who's a couple of years out from being in the big leagues last, gone through quite the journey to get back here? What's it like to see him make it back up here and get that first hit on Sunday?
Well, there's some perseverance for sure that I think we all can admire. You know, the stick-to-itiveness of Taylor and a lot of players, and then, you know, having that realized with a big league promotion based on performance in AAA, it, you know, tells you a lot about the player. And to see him get rewarded with a knock the other day in a pinch hit role in San Francisco, that's good stuff. I mean, those are, you know, those are feel-good moments. And, you know, you want those moments to continue, and you want, you know, you want what's best for all players. And usually what happens, you know, best moments are usually tied to good performance. So, you know, we're pulling for all these guys, no matter who they are, to perform, because this is a performance-based game, and players determine their own fate. So, I mean, good for him. I mean, he's fought through a couple of years of not being in the major leagues, and now here he finds himself here. And granted, it's a tough role, you know, coming off the bench in a National League game, you know, pinch hitting against a major league bullpen with big stuff. It's hard. Occasional start here and there, it's hard. But if you ask him, he would rather be here than anywhere else. So I'm happy for him.
Thank you.
We'll go to Thomas next. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hey, Charlie, buddy, I was going to ask you about Charlie. Charlie was on my mind. But since May 5th, when he was first time over 200 as a batting average, he's batted 294. He's given you a 368 on base percentage. What have you seen in his adjustments to where he was, where he is with his swing, and how he's adjusted to the pitching?
Yeah, well, I think, Charlie got off to a tough start. No doubt about it, along with a couple other guys. Crone got off to a tough start in April. Charlie, a tough start in April. And there's some other guys, tough starts. But I think with Chuck, I think he realized that he had to get back to, keeping it simple, right? I think a lot of times when you get off to slow starts, you try to come into a ball game thinking, hey, I'm going to go get 3-4 hits, get my average up. I got to get hot. I got to hit a homer now and then. Maybe a better question for him, but just watching his at-bats and his approach, it seemed as though, let's get a knock here. Let's get a base hit. Let's use the whole field. Let's take what the pitcher's given me. Let's try to get some momentum. And I think that, in my opinion, what I saw from Charlie. Again, probably better question for him on the statistical numbers of how that happened. But I saw all field hitting. I saw a guy being pitched tough, just like Trevor, right? I think the pitchers know, who our key guys are, and they're going to be tough on them. And I think he started just to take what they gave him. If they're pitching him down the way, there was more base hits to left field. If they tried to crowd him with the fastball hard in, I think he picked his spots to try to pull the ball. So I think just, playing the thinking man's game was, part of Charlie's resurgence.
Anything else, Thomas?
Yes. When you look at how he's thinking in the batter's box, it's kind of an approach of a guy, you're right, that's trying to get on base, keep the line moving, maybe, sting a double, a homer every now and then. Do you see him ever returning to the power type numbers in the past, or is that a product of where he,
I don't know.
how he's being pitched?
I think that's a product of how the pitches you get to hit.
Yeah.
Right. I think that, I think the last couple home runs are very encouraging. Straightaway center, well up into the seats. He had an opposite field home run here, within the last week. Those were, two balls that were driven that I don't think we saw early in the year. So, again, is he going to hit 37 home runs again and knocking 100 runs? I don't know. I mean, a lot of that is a function of who you have around you, right? And we've talked about that. But, Charlie still has home run power, and it can. I think we've seen players, recent players, take Brandon Crawford, Buster Posey, that have had a renaissance this year as guys who are a little bit older. So it can happen for sure.
And where do you see him? What would be his ideal place in the lineup? I know he was one of the best leadoff hitters. You moved him to 3 because at the time he was your best hitter. Do you see him batting throughout the order, or do you see a spot for him as this matures?
Well, I think, again, roster construction is probably the big part of that. I think with the group we had around Charlie when he was leading off, he presented danger immediately with power and the ability to get on base via average in the walk. And then behind him, he had some of our bigger boys. Now Charlie sort of turned into one of our bigger boys. I think he has a knack to knock in runs. He can, he'll put the ball in play. He can move the ball around the diamond. He's got some power. And that's where, for Charlie to be complimented and Trev, we need guys in front of them to get on base. Just like Charlie got on base in front of, in front of Nolan, in front of Reynolds, in front of Cargo. That group that, Charlie sort of broke in with. So we'll see, but I think he can really hit anywhere in the lineup. I mean, it depends on our roster.
Okay, last thing from me. What did you see out of Alan Trejo when he went down to the minors? And what are the things that maybe we'll see more of up here?
Well, pretty consistent play from, we love how he plays his defense, multiple position player, plays a premium position, shortstop, has some bat to ball skill, a little bit of chase in there we got to cut down on, but, first year in AAA, first year in the major leagues, I think he's shown very well. Just, continued improvement the rest of this year, whether he's with us or back in Albuquerque. I think it's great that the AAA season is going to mirror ours as far as the length. So all our guys in AAA can continue to play. That season will not stop in early September. But, he's got a chance to, be a very solid future Rocky. But again, it's going to be based on how he plays. But he's shown very well this year. Okay, guys. Thanks.
All right, thanks, buddy.